In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to make a leaderboard, like player leaderboard, to show money and kills and all that magical stuff. It's actually really simple. All you have to do is create a script. If you don't know how to do that, please go to my Studio Basics series. I literally teach you everything you need to know to get started. So if you and I'm also going to link in the description how to use functions if you do not know what I'm doing. Please watch my functions video if you don't know what I'm talking about, because I explain everything in order. If you skip around and you don't understand, I specifically say not to skip around, because you will get lost if you know nothing about programming or scripting. Alright, so let's get into this. So, literally all you need to do is make leaderboard, right? Well, what are the first things we need to do when we make leaderboard? We need to get the player, and we need to get their stats. So the player already exists, because when you join the game, you're a player. But the stats do not exist. We actually have to create those. So I'm gonna go get the players, right? Equals game.players. This will literally get the players in the game. Then I am going to connect this to a function called player added. This will fire this function every time the player adds, and I'm going to use the connection call, or the function call connect, and I'm going to connect it to a function, and that will return the player. You can see player.player added connected connect. This will connect this to a function that will return player. So then once I do that, I can print out player. If we watch, let me join, and we notice it will say my name when I join. Right here in console. Player, SamJ22. Alright, so now we know we have the player. We need to make leaderboards, right? Well, it's really simple. So what you need to do is do that. You do local. That means you're putting the scope. You're making the leaderboard only accessible inside of this function. That's called the scope. This right here is the scope of the function. Local leader stats equals instance.new folder. Now, if you notice here, you say instance.parent, right? You could do that. I do that. People say it's slower. Or you could just do leader stats.parent equals player. But I really don't. That's an extra line, and I like my code neat. So that will create a folder. Now, if we play the game, we'll notice. Let's load up. There is a new folder in our player, right? This folder is the default name folder because I didn't name it. Now, we need to name it something to make the leader stats happen, right? I want you to pause the video and try to figure out what you want to name the leader stats to make it leader stats. I'm gonna wait 5 seconds. And please pause the video and try to attempt it. Okay. Hopefully you attempted it. If you didn't, cool. If you did, tell me how it went in the comments. So what you need to do is you need to set the property, the name property of the leader stats. So you're gonna get leader stats.name. This will get the name of the object, like this right here. This will get that in the data. I'm in server script service. The name of the server script service is server script service, right? I'm setting the name of this to leader stats, lowercase. It has to be lowercase or it will not work, because Roblox API is set up that way. Now if we notice, we don't play the game, it'll wait. And we go to the player and we notice there's a leader sets folder in our player, right? We're almost there. So now we just created our leader stats, but we have nothing to show. Well, I am going to make a simple money stat. So local, it's same way as we made leader stat folder. Local money equals instance.new. This will create a new instance of the object we tell it to create. So right here in instance.new, I actually have an instance.new folder. I don't know why I'm explaining this. Essentially, go look at my instance.new folder, or instance.new video if you don't understand what I'm talking about. I think it's like number 3, and I'll link it in the description. I'm going to create a new int value for the money. And then I'm going to set the parent to leader stats because we created the folder and it has to be inside of the folder to show up. And then the money.name, actually no, I'm just going to not name it for now and show you what happens. If we notice, it says right here, well, why isn't it named money? It's called value. Well, it's like with the folder. Remember when we named the folder, we just made a new folder? It was the default name. Well, when you make a new int value, the name is value. And if you look at the stats, it's literally just called value because we didn't name it, right? I'm actually going to name it money.value or money.name equals money. Now if we play the game, we have money. That is how you make a leaderboard, right? That's simple leaderboard. You can do the same thing with this. What if we wanted to add kills? You can do that easily, watch. You do the same exact thing we did with money. Equals instance.new and value, and then leader stats. And then we're going to set the name, kills.name equals kills. And if we play that, we see we have kills. We could also do another one. We could do, I'm going to do a for loop. I'm actually going to create a table up here. So I'm just going to create a bunch of values and I'm going to iterate through the values. I explained how this works in my for loops video, but essentially what I'm doing is I am iterating through the table and I am going to create a new instance.new int value. I'm creating a new value for every item in the table. I'm going to set the folder leader stats and the value name is going to be the names that we're iterating through. Now if we run the game, we have all of these stats. We have so many stats, it's not going to show up in the leaderboard. But if we go to, oh my gosh, if we go here, we see all these stats based off of this because I ran a loop. Literally all I did was I got the name of the thing in the folder. So names would be kills, wins. If we notice, we have wins, kills, all the same stuff. Credits is here, right? I literally just got that. So if, let's say the name was kills, it would create a new int value and set the parent to the leader stats, and that value name would be equal to kills, and then it would do the same thing for wins and everything here. Like if I added a it would actually create a value called A. I don't know why you would want to have a value called A, but it would do that. That is how you make a simple leaderboards GUI. If you want to have just a few values without typing them out like I did, you could just do wins, losses, right? And we notice we have wins, losses. That is how you make a very simple leaderboard for stuff. Now, if you have any questions, DM my Discord. See ya.